way to avoid soggy enchiladas. Watch and we'll see what it is. Welcome to Lawyer in the Kitchen. Today we're going to make some fantastic cheese enchiladas. And one way we're going to stop them from being soggy, because this is what happens when you put that sauce over them in the oven, is that we're going to fry the corn tortillas for about 3 or 4 seconds on each side, and that should keep them crispy. Now for the ingredients. We're going to use a ½ teaspoon of oregano, a ½ teaspoon of onion powder, 3 tablespoons of chili powder, ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, about a ½ teaspoon of chipotle chili powder, a ¼ teaspoon of cumin powder, and to make the roux, we're going to use 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. You can use gluten-free, doesn't matter, with 3 tablespoons of oil and about 2 ounces of tomato paste, along with 2 cups of chicken broth. Now, to make the tortillas, the actual enchiladas, we're going to use about 15, whatever fits in our pan, of the corn tortillas and about 16 ounces of the 4-cheese Mexican mixed cheese. We're going to top it maybe certainly with some cilantro, maybe some avocado, and we'll also we may put some sour cream on it. We'll see how it looks, how it goes. All right, we're making the red sauce first. You can put your oven on 350 right now and let it start getting warmed up. We'll do that. 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm using grapeseed oil. You can use whatever you like, vegetable oil, olive oil. I like grapeseed oil. I am going to measure it because we're making a roux. All right, that's it right there. Start warming that up, not that much. Medium heat. And let me get a whisk. Here's 2 tablespoons of flour. And we're just going to whisk this. We're going to cook this for about a minute and get this nice and well mixed. We're really not trying to make this a brown roux like we're making a gumbo or anything like that. This is just a thickener. And really, the minute's going to take that flour taste out. That's really what we want to do. We're going to turn it down just a little bit. And we're going to put in all of our spices. Okay, ½ teaspoon of oregano, ½ teaspoon of onion powder, 3 tablespoons of chili powder, ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, ½ teaspoon of chipotle chili powder, ¼ teaspoon of cumin. And we're going to let those toast. And now that smell is fantastic. We're going to let this cook for about a couple of minutes to get the fragrance out. That smells good. The next thing we're going to do is put in about 2 ounces of tomato paste, which is about half of this tube. And I am using the double concentrated. I just like it. It's more intense flavor. And you see that's completely gathered up here. I'm going to put in just a pinch of salt. And now we're going to drizzle in the chicken broth. So do it on this hand. And the red should start coming out. And we're going to cook this about 5 minutes with everything in there. That sauce is getting nice and thick now. Look at it. It's not heavy. Nice thickness here. Now I'm going to taste this, see if it might need a little more salt. Oh, that's pretty tasty. Oh, it's got a little bit of heat too. It's nice. I'm going to put just a little more salt. Another pinch. Okay, this is cooked for 5 minutes. We never got it to a roaring boil, just barely simmering. And we're going to let this sit while we get our tortillas, get our tortillas ready. Enchilada means to season or decorate with chili. Eating food wrapped in a tortilla goes back to pre-Columbian times and was the way to eat for the Aztec Empire. The Mayans called the corn tortilla tlaxcali, but the Spanish conquistadors renamed tlaxcali to tortilla. El Cocinero Mexicano was the first Mexican cookbook to record the use of and cooking of enchiladas. Originally, the enchiladas were empty and just dipped in a sauce. All manner of meats and cheeses have been added since then, which brings us to today for our cheese enchiladas. Okay, so we're gonna warm up our oil. We don't want, this is not gonna be smoking hot. We just wanna put a little crisp on them. Once this gets warm, we're not even gonna use this one because it's gonna be soaked with oil and we don't wanna do that. Really not that long. 4 or 5 seconds on each side. Just enough so they start to bubble like that. We might have to put a little more oil in. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our red sauce. This just sat for a couple of minutes. We're gonna pour in a little bit of this. Make sure we have enough to cover. And let's see how that coats the plate. I think we might need a little more of that. Sorry, no, I know. It was just, but we.
Trying to help you out.
You were doing a great job. Here we are. We're gonna put some cheese. I'm gonna roll this up. And that actually stayed pretty well. We want them tight.
Look at you.
I'm surprised that even came together.
So proud.
And you know what? It actually stopped some from cracking. That was pretty good. All right.
They're crack-a-lackin'?
They're crack-a-lacking. So how many did we end up with? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We've got 13. Now we're gonna pour our sauce and we're gonna cover them up completely. This may not be the best thing for a slotted spoon, but if you don't cover them up, they will be brittle. So we want to definitely cover them up. And we're going to put it in our 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes until everything's golden and looking good. And I think that's going to be it. We're ready to put it in the oven. We're coming up at about 12.5 minutes. It's about halfway through. So we're looking between 20 to 30 minutes. About 25 is probably the target. Let's have a look at it and see what this is looking like. Oh, I think that's coming out all right. I've been checking this at about the 20-minute mark. As long as the cheese is not turning brown, we don't want it to turn brown. We keep the cheese nice and fresh looking. I've been able to go, and I think we're gonna go right to the full 30 minutes on this, and we're getting ready to pull it out and let it rest for 5 minutes. Ah, that looks good. Ah, look at that bubbling in there. So while we're waiting our 5 minutes, this is a good time to get our cilantro and our avocado together. All right, so we're gonna do this like we've done this, how everybody else does it. Do that. Now, here's the question. All right, see, make sure your fingers are, everything's low. Don't miss, don't get wild, don't get crazy. Ah. There we go. This would be better with a bigger spoon, but I'm not gonna, it'd be more dangerous for me. So I'm not gonna do that because if I mess up my wife's camera, she's gonna get mad at me and stuff like that. All right. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna slice this avocado nice and thinly. I've already got the cilantro ready.
Oh my gosh, I smell that cilantro.
Yeah, it's nice. All right, I'm gonna go on the end here. I don't know where I think that's where the cheese is settled in. I think that's correct. Okay, we got a little bit of this coming off. I'm gonna put one more on there, or two's good?
Two's good since that was torn.
Yeah. Okay, let's try this. First of all, look at the cheese on that. That is nice. Look at that. Mm. Mm. That is goodness right there. Come try this.
Ooh.
It's got a little heat at the end. The cheese is nice, silky, it's smooth. The enchilada tortilla part is really nice. You got some strings. You got some strings on her.
The corn tortilla.
Yeah, that's definitely. You got to use the corn.
You got to do the corn.
The corn makes all the difference, in my opinion.
It
It's
does.
just really, really good. So, if you like this, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe and like. Make a comment. I'll make a comment back, and I'll see you next time on
Lawyer in the kitchen.